What is up, guys? Fado82, as always, proud to bring you a weekly Rust update video. Getting us off the bat here, we're going to take a look at a carryover from last week and take another look at that beautiful double barrel shotgun. The view model has been adjusted slightly, so it's a little bit smaller. It might be more in line with what you might expect from a double barrel shotgun. But it's still quite a cannon, so it will be massive when you're holding it. In terms of holding it, guys, you might notice the aim point's a bit different now, especially when you're aiming down the sights, so it's going to be much more accurate. The double barrel shotgun has received a bit of a buff, and it now has parity with the water pipe shotgun, so each barrel will deal the equivalent to one water pipe. This is great because the purpose of this item was always to sort of have an option to avoid stacking items and chaining them together, and it's great that it now has that match with the water pipe. The spread has been increased as well, and there's going to be a slightly decreased rate of fire. You're going to notice more damage up close with the double barrel shotgun and less farther away, which is exactly how it should be. And the buckshot now has a randomized velocity. This won't affect damage, it's going to be purely visual, but you'll notice that every time you fire the double barrel shotgun, it will have a different effect. That will probably apply to the water pipe and the shotgun as well. We didn't test that, but I'm going to assume that it applies to those items also. In terms of the overall gunplay this week in Rust, you're going to notice it's a bit tightened up, and that's due to some fixes to projectiles. So really what this equates to is more accurate hit detection, less unpredictability, and this is something that has been focused on quite a bit in the past few updates, and it's going to be something that's always going to be a focus, is tightening up that gunplay in Rust. Rust isn't just a shooter, but it is a game that has a lot of gunplay going on, so it's always important to tighten up those hitboxes, make them more accurate. There's been a bunch of fixes to projectiles and hit detection, so guys, make sure you're checking out the dev blog. As always, they do a better job of explaining it than I can, but this is a good overview, and you can notice from the hitboxes here, they seem to be a little bit tighter. Less junk ones, you're not hitting a player in the leg, it's not registering as a spine. Seems to be pretty spot on, especially when I shot Ghost 4 times in the penis. So overall, I think it's a step in the right direction. You guys are definitely going to like that. If you're a fan of using supply signals, they are going to be a bit random when you use them now. You can no longer predict where they're going to land on your base, so you can't land them right on your roof. They have a random offset of about 20 units, so if you have a large compound, it'll still land in your compound. But if you have a smaller base, it's not going to always land exactly where you want it to land. This is definitely something to keep in mind, guys, if you're playing around with your supply signals, because you don't want to lose the valuable resources when they drop from the airdrop. You might notice things look a little bit different in airdrop this week, or you might not. It was a little bit uncertain on the dev server, but it seemed as though the drops might have been tightened up a little bit to have less junk in there. As always, you guys can decide that and leave a comment below. Player culling stands to shake things up the most this week in Rust. This is a change to how players render in the game. So essentially what this is going to be is that players within your line of sight will render whether they're sleeping or online, and those that are not in your line of sight will not render. This is going to cause less strain on the client side, and you should notice increases in frames per second anywhere between 10 to 20 frames per second. Leave a comment below, guys, and let us know how it worked out for you. If you want to disable it, you can do so by hitting F1 and typing a command, so it is something you can toggle, and it is, again, on the client side and will be enabled by default. This will be most pronounced in areas of high density like beaches or large compounds. We caught another glimpse of the new AR coming to Rust this week in the dev blog, which is the LR300 assault rifle. What do you guys think about this new AR in Rust? To me, again, it seems like something that won't be player crafted necessarily, as something that's found or dropped from the environment. Someone pointed out in last week's update video that it looked like an item that maybe one of the scientist PvE concepts might carry. And I think that's an awesome concept, and I think that might be right in line with it. Notice when we zoom in here, it says law enforcement and government use only. So the scientist could be part of a government agency. Rust has always been, theorized to be a prison island, a prison colony, social experiment, something like that. So it would go in line with that. This concept art shows something other than an AR being held, but it would make sense that could be possible. So what do you guys think about that? Leave a comment below. We also saw a look at an updated bean can model, which will look a bit better. We took a look at some redesigned bone armor. If you guys want to take a closer look at the bone armor, you can go ahead and rotate it in the 3D space in the dev blog. The dev blog gave us a glimpse into the future of player trading and perhaps an economy by way of a vending machine concept artwork piece that might make its way into the game. Really hope it does. We took a look at some newly designed lighthouses which might soon be merging with the game. We saw some military tunnels that are updated, so they're looking pretty good, and a graphics overhaul that's coming to Rust, which will have some damn fine looking new environments. If you guys like the music in this video, this is a new song by Alex from Face Punch, and you can check it out in the link below. As always, guys, love making these Rust update videos. Hope you had fun watching it. Fado82, peace.